Hi, how are you? I get to tell on myself today and show you how the Lord works and teach you about an oil. Can I do all of those things? All right. We're going to talk about Dorado Azul today. This is a kind of a strange name. Do you know in Ecuador, they considered this a weed? It's a weed. And when Gary Young distilled it and began to use it and study it, he found all sorts of great things that it's used for. It is a really multifaceted oil. But how this oil came to me is not in that way at all. Do you have a reference guide? Are you using a reference guide? If you don't own reference guides and texts regarding your products and really want to get the most out of them, I highly encourage you to do so. So get a pen and paper. I'm going to have you jot down a couple of names I'm going to list here. So the very, very first reference I have to that is your reference guide. And when I had looked up herpes or fever blisters or anything like that, anybody get those? Oh yeah, cold sores, that's another name that you hear for them. I had looked that up in my reference guide and I had used every oil it suggested. Every oil. I get them often enough that I get to try a multitude of oils. So I tried them all. I was fairly disappointed, not gonna lie. Pretty upset that I didn't find anything that just did the trick for me. So I finally decided to pray, as a last resort. Oh, why do we do that? So I said, Lord, what do you want me to use? And this is what he said, Dorado Azul. I was like, okay. Couldn't find any reference to it in any literature anywhere. I was like, okay, this is what he said. I'm going to order it. This is what I'm going to get. There's a book called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. Oh, and there's an app for it too. I highly, strongly suggest that you get either or, and then how about and? You can use them. That Feelings Buried Alive with You Never Die is on your phone when you're somewhere. Works out great. So I looked it up, and when you look up herpes, you go through the list. The one that spoke to me said lack of inner peace. How many of you have a lot of head knowledge, but have a hard time transferring it 18 inches down here? Yeah. So lack of inner peace. If you're a control freak, you might struggle with this extra. I don't know who we're talking to here. So I felt that transdermal tingling and put my Dorado Azul on there and put it on a bunch. And that never bloomed. That lesion never bloomed. Oh, what? Okay, I'm super excited. I didn't know why, but I said, okay. Now I remember I have looked up that lack of inner peace is the reason why you get these sometimes. Okay, so I went to my next book, pen and paper, Carolyn Mines, Releasing Emotional Patterns Through Essential Oils. Dorado Azul. The only reason why she has emotionally listed is because of revenge. Okay. And the alarm point, which just means where the emotion resides or where it could have entered, that's another one, is the pons, P-O-N-S. That's part of your brain. The pons works in conjunction with the medulla oblongata to cause your respiration. But it also is the place that houses your cranial nerves. Oh, dental hygienists. Okay. Did I mention that the herpes virus resides in your nerves, and when it becomes aggravated, that it comes out? Have you ever said to somebody, you're getting on my nerves? Have you ever thought they are so getting on my nerves? My gosh. And have you ever asked someone not to do something and then they did it anyway? And so now you're completely irritated? Let's just say that you are touchy, fretful, and resentful, which is not agape love in 1 Corinthians 13, by the way. And so now your anger grows. And maybe you might have a little revenge. Welcome revenge mindset. Exit inner peace. Exit inner peace. So when the word says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that's the King James Version of Romans 12. When the word says that, guess what? You got to be transformed here. If your pawns is holding on to revenge, a revenge mindset, until that's out of your system, you may struggle with cold sores and herpes and fever blisters if you hold on to it and you don't give it to the Lord. Oh, that's ouchy. So lessons to be learned here. Pray, Lord, what do I need to use for this? Number 2, do what he says, and you're going to get great results. That's what happened to me. And 3, let it go. There's a theme here. Let it go. Don't let it sit in your brain. Don't let it sit and be latent. And then when you least expect it, that revenge mindset pops out. And then you have a fever blister on your lip. Sounds like good advice to me. Blessings.